こんにちは、ハリケーンフットボールです。今回の教材は、リーズユナイテッドの田中碧に関する動画です。リーズユナイテッドは、この冬の移籍市場で、すでに補強や放出に動いていますが、その動きの中で、田中碧の序列にも影響が大きそうな動きもあります。その中で、リーズファンにとっても、田中碧の売却について話すファンが増えているように感じますが、田中碧を擁護したり評価することが多いケイジーは、田中碧が不当な扱いをされている現状に憤慨し、移籍の話が上がっていることにも不満があるようです。どれだけ田中碧を擁護し応援しているのかチェックしてみましょ
う。Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Kagey is back. It's time for a brand new video. This is Transfer Talk, and we're also going to discuss how Tanaka and just where he is at this current time at Leeds United, his future, and where we see his position in the pecking order at Leeds United in midfield. Before we get into it, though, please like the video. Free to do helps out the channel. Thank you to Philip Hartley, Mr. P, and David Petty for the super thanks on the last video. Much appreciated, guys, for the support. And, of course, as always, big up to every single member of the channel. As I always say, you make this thing go. And it's so true. It's so true. Can't be overstated enough. But listen, people, let's get straight into it. Jack Harrison, he's gone. Formally gone, people. We don't have to think about it anymore. Fiorentina, he's gone on loan for the season. I mean, Leeds United said everyone at Leeds United wishes Jack Harrison well. Don't like when people speak for me. But no, I don't wish him any harm. But, you know, he shouldn't be here. And I think that was very evident from the cup game alone. I mean, that was just like, that just describes Jack Harrison, didn't it? It really does over the last few years. But look, I hope it goes well. There's a buy option for around 6 million euros. Hopefully Fiorentina take that up and we don't have to think about this in the summer. It'd be one less thing to do. But yeah, Jack Harrison leaves. And it leaves a spot open. And would that spot be to something that broke last night in Romano Schmid? Fabrizio Romano put this out last night that Leeds are in talks to sign Romano Schmid from Werder Bremen. Negotiations ongoing for around 50 million euros plus add-ons with Leeds. Keen talks on, which is around 13 million pounds, which is not a lot at all. But then a couple of journos later, including Graham Smith and then Zinny Boswell, said, told Romano Schmid is unlikely to join Leeds United in this transfer window. One that could have well happened before Buonanotte signed on loan. Clearly, there is no such need for him now, have other priorities. And let me just say this, you can see why Leeds would be interested in him. He's a very creative player. Third for chances created in Bundesliga. Second for big chances created. Sixth for assists with 5. And he's one of those that wins the ball back, which I think is going to be one of the, you know, hallmarks of a Daniel Farke kind of signing. You're going to have to do both ends of the work. And we're going to get into that when we talk about how Tanaka. Now, with Romano Schmid, maybe this one could be ongoing if someone's to leave, but I just don't see where he'd fit in now. This seems like it would be more for a summer move. So unless Leeds United are going for this for the next transfer window, I just don't see how it computes now with Aronson here, with Buonanotte here. I just don't get where he'd fit in and where he'd play. So it's one of those where I think it was at the time with Buonanotte, and maybe they're trying to do it for the summer because I don't think Buonanotte is going to be coming here permanently. I think that is just going to be a straight up loan. Brighton will have him back and then do with him what they see fit at that time. I don't see him being here on a permanent deal. Maybe you guys feel differently, but I just don't see it happening. But this one for around 15 million, these are the kind of deals that you do. These are the kind of gems that you unearth and you get from other leagues that are cheap. And maybe they perform or overperform for your football club, then you turn them into a 40 million pound player. That's always the dream when it comes to clubs like ours. We're in the position we're in. But listen, Romano Schmid is a fine football player. It just doesn't make sense right now for our PSR restrictions, the needs as well. And I maintain I need that left back, people. And listen, someone made a suggestion yesterday, get a centre back that can play left back. I'm all with that. Do that. Do someone that can do the hybrid job, like a Nathan Ake. Obviously, we're not going to get Nathan Ake, but of that mold. You know, I want another defender in there. I think it's important. You saw already with, you know, Biol being out for 3 to 5 weeks, but now wasn't even fit enough to start. So James Justin starts. That's not ideal. And James Justin's been brilliant, by the way. But you want another out-and-out centre back in there for more cover for injuries, suspensions. You know, Pascal still hasn't gone down with the injury yet. So, yeah, I feel like there's more pressing needs. And when you consider as well the Strand Larsen deal, which is going to be very expensive if Leeds are given the green light, this one just doesn't make sense at this time. So maybe it's one we revisit in the summer. Give me your thoughts. But what I will say is that for £13 million stroke 15 million euros, other teams will be alerted by this and will probably look at it and go, if they've got a pressing need for that position now, they'll go, I wouldn't mind the Schmid guy, you know, I wouldn't mind him, but we'll come back to it if there's any more updates. But yeah, for me, I think this is a summer move, but let me know what you think. Of course, it could happen though, if something was to happen with Tanaka. And I wanted to get into this, and I need this to be in the context of the conversation I'm having. This has got nothing to do with the Fulham result. If we had won 6-0, if we had lost 3-0, it's irrelevant to the conversation. It's about the trust that Daniel Farke seems to lack in Tanaka. So you've got Stack, who is, one of our best midfielders, go out injured, and you're thinking, okay, Tanaka, you step up. But no, it's Gruev at home to Fulham. It doesn't make sense to me. Because Tanaka, if you're looking for a combative midfielder, he does both ends of the pitch. He does the defensive work, but he also gives you that little bit extra when you go forward, as we've seen a couple of times this season, and even in the cup as well. But it just seems that Daniel Farke, I feel, doesn't fully trust Tanaka. And we've seen on a few occasions with Tanaka when even after the Liverpool game, and there's many instances, by the way, where he seems to be talking down to Tanaka, and it may be because of a missed run here and there. But what if he doesn't give you all those runs? What he gives you going forward is kind of invaluable, because he helps get you forward. He's a creative spark in that area where we don't really have much now, and up until Buonanotte came. It's just one of those where it doesn't make sense to me. If you've got a home game against Fulham and you can't fit Tanaka in, I feel like there's a little bit of a problem there. And listen, Tanaka, it doesn't matter what formation. This isn't like like a Nanto situation, or even Okafor. This is a guy that can fit in the 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, 3-5-2, 5-3-2. It doesn't matter. You can put Tanaka in every single formation you want, because he does all the jobs. And it's discouraging for me, because I like Tanaka as a player, as you guys know. But I just feel he gives us something extra when he's on the pitch. And now he's been given 10 minutes here and there to show what he's about. And look, I'm all for the whole thing about him being dropped after I think it was the Brentford game, people, because he had scored against Chelsea, he scored against Liverpool, and then he played terribly in the next game. And it was a bad performance. So I'm not against that. But it just seems that there's so little rope for certain players. And you can see at the moment now, the best example is Noah Okafor, who's done nothing in so many games, but yet gets start after start after start, no matter what. And that's just where it's unfair for me. And it's like, Brendan's doing really well right now. So this is nothing against Brendan. But if Brendan has a really bad game in the next game against Everton, he's not coming out in the next starting lineup. It's not happening. But Tanaka literally scores against Chelsea, Liverpool. Everyone's talking about him. Premier League clubs are looking at him like, whoa, who's this guy? And then one bad game, he's stapled to the bench. And I just feel, and you always see with Tanaka's body language that it's kind of like, all right, man, I might have missed the run, but look, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm winning duels. It just feels like Danny Farke's not getting everything he wants out of him. But this is the frustrating thing for me, as who likes technicians on the ball. Tanaka will get pulled up for things like this, but Sean Longstaff can do his Beyblade performances and run around like a headless chicken and get full praise because he's done all the running and he's back in defensive position because he can't do much else. I think Sean Longstaff's peak here will be the home game against Bournemouth, where he was absolutely brilliant. I don't think it's going to get better than that for Sean Longstaff. Whereas Tanaka, there is potential for him to be great. And the fact that we only paid £3 million for him, and he should be, if he was playing as much as he could be, talking like 25, 30 million. But it's not that at this moment in time. So it's interesting. If Stack makes it back for the next game, which is what Danny Farke said for the Everton game, we'll find out this week, then Stack comes back in. Stack has been fantastic, especially over the past few months. But if he's not back and Tanaka doesn't play, it wouldn't surprise me. First of all, because it's an away game and we know how we set up for those. I mean, if we set up with 7 defensive minded players against Fulham at home, going to Everton, we're definitely not going to put Tanaka in the starting lineup. And that's just the frustrating thing for me. So I'm asking you, do you feel that Farke trusts him? Do you think Tanaka's not done enough? Let me know your thoughts in the comment when it comes to how, because I would hate to lose this guy like we've done with Charlie Creswell for so little money, and then he goes on elsewhere and does what I know he's going to do. And I'm talking about how Tanaka there. All right. So that's the Tanaka done over. Transition over to Creswell. And that was pretty smooth because Wolfsburg see an increased bid for Charlie Creswell turned down by Toulouse. Latest proposal valued 23-year-old at 20 million euros, but still short of valuation Toulouse expect. And he's expected to stay in the January transfer window. This is what I said about Charlie Creswell, man. He just needed opportunity, and the opportunities were there. I remind people because people forget we had Ampadu dropping back into defense when we could have used Charlie Creswell, kept Ampadu in midfield. At the time, Kamara, form had gone off a cliff. There was a few issues there where you could have put Charlie in, and we didn't utilize him enough. And I knew as soon as he left, and it's in the videos, I said, he's going to go to France. He's going to turn himself into a 15 to 20 million pound defender. And yeah, we'll probably get a little slice of that sell-on clause. But yeah, it looks like we're not going to get that sell-on fee this month because it looks like Toulouse are going to stand pat until they get the bid that they deem fit, I should say. So yeah, good work on Charlie Creswell, Toulouse. Well done to him as well. And just finally on a little bit of rival watch, I guess it is important because he seems to be coming up with clutch goals for them at this time. Callum Wilson, who was rumored for the longest time to be leaving West Ham on a contract termination, in light of them signing 2 new forwards, is going to stay, according to Fabrizio Romano, an West Ham employee. There's no plans to part ways at this stage of the window, and the decision's been made by the West Ham hierarchy. So there you go. Looks like Callum Wilson is staying there. So that is it for the video, people. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on anything discussed. Like the video before you go, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
次は解説です。今回は一見簡単そうに見えても便利に使える表現などもありましたので、本日の解説をチェックしてみましょ
う。These are the kind of gems that you unearth and
unearth はもともと土から掘り起こすという意味の単語です。そこから比喩で隠れていたものを発掘する、見つけ出すとして使われます。サッカーでは掘り出し物の選手を見つけるという場面でよく出ます。ニュースでは秘密や新事実を掘り起こす意味でも使われます。ディスカバルよりも埋もれていったものを掘り出した感じが強いです。発見のドラマ感が出るので、解説や実況でも手を覚えます。
These are the kind of gems that you unearth, and these are the kind of gems that you unearth, and so yeah, I feel like there's more pressing needs.
Pressing need は今すぐ対処しないといけない必要のことです。Pressing は緊急の差し迫ったという意味で、urgent に近いです。サッカーでは補強の優先順位を語るときによく使われます。例えば、その選手も良いけど、他にもっと必要なポジションがあるという場面です。つまり、欲しいでは、他なく今必要という強さがあります。移籍市場の文脈では、怪我や層の薄さが理由になることが多いです。優先度が高いか大屈を端的に言える便利な表明、言です。
So yeah, I feel like there's more pressing needs. So yeah, I feel like there's more pressing needs where he seems to be talking down to Tanaka and
talk down to は相手を見下して話すという意味の駆動詞です。言葉の内容そのものより話し方や態度がポイントになります。上司が部下に対して小馬鹿にするように話すときなどに使われます。サッカーの文脈では監督が選手を必要以上に低く評価しているように聞こえるときに出ます。厳しく指導するとは違い、相手のプライドを傷つけるニュアンスがあります。日本語では上から目線で見下すようにが自然です。感情の温度感を出せるので覚えておくと便利です。
where he seems to be talking down to Tanaka, and where he seems to be talking down to Tanaka, and Tanaka will get pulled up for things like this.
pull someone up は相手を呼び止めて間違いを指摘するという英国寄りの表現です。pull up には止まる、止めるという意味があり、そこから止めて注意するにつながります。on はその点についてを指摘するニュアンスで、言い方や態度、ポジショニングなどに使えます。for はその理由でとして、遅刻や反則などの行為を理由に注意されるときに使えます。サッカーでは、監督が小さなミスを厳しく指摘する場面でよく使われ、審判がプレーを止めて、ファウルを取る場面にも合います。日本語では、何かを指摘される、何かで注意されると訳すと自然です。相手に不公平に当たりが強い感じも出せる便利な表現です。
Tanaka will get pulled up for things like this. Tanaka will get pulled up for things like this because it looks like Toulouse are going to stand pat and
stand pat は現状を維持する、動かずに待つという意味です。元はカードゲームで追加のカードを引かずにそのまま勝負することから来ています。移籍の文脈ではクラブが値下げせずに待つ。売らずに様子見するときによく使われます。何もしないというより方針を変えないというニュアンスが強いです。似た表現にホールドフームやステイプットがあります。日本語では動かない、現状維持待ちの姿勢が自然です。交渉が進まない膠着状態を短く言える便利な表現で、
because it looks like Toulouse are going to stand pat and because it looks like Toulouse are going to stand pat and
いかがでしたか？田中碧の移籍の話は今のところ噂も上がってきていませんが、ロマーノ・シュミットの移籍が実現すれば田中碧が移籍する可能性が最も高いと感じているリーズファンは多いようです。Kagey は田中碧が使われないといけない理由や田中碧の素晴らしさを強く語っていますが、最も言いたいのは田中碧は良い選手であり、今の待遇が明らかに不当であり、不公平であり、試合に出ればその価値が明らかにあるということでした。ロマーノ・シュミットの獲得もこの冬の移籍市場ではないと言っていますので、夏の移籍市場であれば田中碧の移籍もその時になりそうです。個人的には移籍がしたくてもできない状況よりは、今の田中碧にとっては移籍しやすい状況はネガティブではないと思います。残りのシーズンもリーズに残るとしても、変わらず今のパフォーマンスを続けるだけで、ワールドカップも含め十分に評価されると思いますので、ただただ怪我せずにプレーしてほしいと思います。本日もご視聴いただきありがとうございました。またすぐにお会いしましょう。